If you've ever received feedback from a client and felt that little knot in your stomach, the one that makes you question everything, this episode is for you. Because when you're not completely clear on your core values, every opinion can feel bigger than it actually is. And over time, that slowly erodes your strong leadership. You're listening to Business by the Books. Today, I want to talk about core values. And it's not the kind that you put on your website or just use for marketing because you feel like you, air quote, should have them. I want to talk about the kind of core values that actually guide your decisions as a CEO. Because if you're unclear on what the foundation is in your business, feedback can start to feel like it's destabilizing instead of helpful in your journey. This episode was inspired by a brave client. She reached out with thoughtful questions about our services. And honestly, it was not in a confrontational way. It was in a genuinely curious way. And I really appreciate that. Feedback like that does something important. It forces you to pause and ask, why do we do it this way? As I reflected, I found myself thinking back to why I even started Kickstart 11 years ago. Here's what I've learned. When you're unclear on your values, every piece of feedback from your team or your clients, it feels personal. And when you're clear in your values, feedback, it can be clarifying and empowering. The difference is what determines whether you lead or you react. I left corporate finance with a very clear mission. I had been working in the boardroom where decisions, they were data-driven, they were strategic, and they were forward-thinking. And I knew small business owners, they deserve that same level of clarity. Small business owners, we rely on grit, vision, and sometimes we're reactionary and emotional. In order to bring that same level of clarity to small business, we had to build it. So we built the snapshot. We built the KSA framework. We built Kickstart Kit, our client exclusive toolkit, and we built this podcast. What stands out to me even more at this point, it's not the reports, it's our people and it's our culture that supports our clients. Kickstart is built on 5 core values: integrity, trust, respect, accountability, and start with why. And I want to be clear, we don't just say them. They don't hang on a wall. They're not our background screen. We use them every single day. We use them in hiring, firing, how we choose what clients will allow in to work with our team. And this is also why we operate in a team-based model. And I want to be clear, we do not trace trends. We do not do things just because it's easier. We do things here at Kickstart because it aligns with what we believe about how work should be delivered. Every single one of our clients is served through the same framework, the same standards, the same strategic lens. And that consistency through our Kickstart snapshot, it protects every single one of our clients, and it protects our team. One of the biggest mistakes I see small business owners making is treating core values like branding, just another branding or marketing exercise. But values, they are part of the brand, but they are not branding. They are the operating standards in which we do everything day in and day out. So as your pricing evolves, your offers evolve, your message can evolve, your core values cannot shift every time someone questions you. And if they do, you're leading from reaction. We do this exercise once a year where we, during our annual planning session as a leadership team, we will look at our core values and we will ask, has anything changed? So it's not that we set core values 11 years ago and we've never updated them. Every year we ask, does this still align with who we are and who we want to be? And I will say that we actually have not changed a single core value since we created them, but it's not because we're not asking the question. The core values have become the way that we operate as a business. My leadership lesson number 2 is that growth, it's a good thing. And it's something that I didn't realize when I started Kickstart, how important it was to me. Here at Kickstart, we celebrate every single promotion. We invest heavily in training. Every single week and month, there is a training program that is happening here in this team. We believe that team transitions are not a sign of instability. They're a sign of growth. They're a growth opportunity for our team members, and they're a growth opportunity for us as a firm. And we have built a culture that is rooted in integrity and accountability. So development, it's not disruptive, it's expected. This, for me, this is what healthy leadership looks like. We have And we will continue to celebrate every single team member who is promoted, has a team change, has a position change. We are going to promote both business career changes and life changes because we have a healthy, sustainable business model that supports our clients. So why am I recording this episode for you today? I want to give you how to apply this, like the actual CEO filter for you to use. Why did you start your business? What do you believe about how your work should be delivered to your clients and community? What kind of experience do you want your clients to have? And what kind of environment do you want your team to work in? And I want you to write your values down. And to be clear, these are not the polished ones. These are the real ones from your heart, the ones that you are willing to defend every time something feels uncomfortable. Because the next time feedback comes your way, you need a filter to process that feedback. Business, it's not just strategy. We are not building a business that depends on one person. We are building a firm that stands on values. And that is something that is worth protecting. Celebrate your team. Celebrate your growth, your team's growth, and celebrate evolution. And then hold tight to who you are. That is how you build something that lasts. At Kickstart, we don't just create reports. We build financial systems grounded in integrity, accountability, and long-term strategy. So if you're looking for clarity in your numbers and confidence in your decisions, I want you to visit kickstartaccountinginc.com to learn how we support CEOs with bookkeeping, CFO services, and tax. Go today as the CEO and celebrate your team. I know I'm going to. I want you to celebrate the evolution of your business and then hold tight to who you are at the core. And let's build something that lasts.